My name is Eleanor Hayes, and I'm 79 years old. I live with my only son, Michael, and his wife, Sophia. Life wasn't always this hard. After my husband passed away, Michael took care of me. He bought my medicines, made tea for me in the mornings, and always asked, "Are you feeling okay, Mom?" I was happy then. I thought I would never be alone again. I still remember the first week after my husband's death. Michael would wake up early, prepare breakfast, and sit beside me quietly. His presence gave me comfort. I felt safe and loved. But slowly, things started to change. Michael began coming home late. At first, I thought work was keeping him busy. He looked tired, shoulders slumped, and barely spoke. When I asked, "How was your day, Michael?" he would just say, "It was fine, Mother," and leave the room. Sophia began complaining more often. "The food, the bills, your mother's medicine, it's too much," she said. Michael sighed. "I know, Sophia. We'll manage." But I could feel the strain in his voice. Many nights, I heard them arguing in the kitchen. "You're spoiling her," Sophia said sharply. "She's my mother," Michael replied. "I'm not talking to you," Sophia snapped. "I'm talking about reality." I held my blanket tight and stayed silent. I didn't want to be a burden. But their words echoed through the walls and straight into my heart. Days turned into weeks. Sophia stopped speaking to me except to complain or give instructions. Michael stopped asking about my day. He no longer sat beside me in the evenings. I ate alone, my hands trembling as I held the spoon. Sometimes I tried to pour myself tea. My hands shook, and the cup spilled. Sophia would sigh loudly from the kitchen, and I'd freeze in fear. At night, I moved slowly with my cane to get water. Michael passed me without a word. I felt invisible. One evening I whispered, "Michael, can we talk?" He didn't look up. "I'm busy, Mother." My heart sank. Then, one night, I heard them again. Sophia's voice was cold. "We can't keep her here forever. The medicine, the food, it's too much." Michael's voice was low. "I know, Sophia. I'll think of something." Tears filled my eyes. Could my own son really be planning to leave me? I remembered his tiny hands when he was a child. How he once said, "Mama, don't ever leave me." Now, he was the one preparing to leave. Days grew darker. Sophia handed me food without looking at me. Michael avoided my eyes. My legs became weak. Some mornings, I could barely walk. Then one day, I couldn't get up at all. I called for water, but no one came. Hours later, Michael entered. He looked worried but distant. He gave me a little water. Sophia stood behind him, cold and silent. That night, I heard her shout, "We can't waste more money on doctors. Tomorrow we'll take her out." My body went cold. I understood what that meant. The next evening, Michael helped me into the car. "Mother," he said softly, "we're going for a drive. You'll feel better." I smiled weakly. I wanted to believe him. I trusted him completely. The car drove past the town, down empty roads. No lights, no houses, only darkness. Finally, it stopped near an open field. Sophia said, "Let's go." Michael lifted me out of the car and laid me on the ground. He placed a thin blanket over me but couldn't meet my eyes. "Michael," I whispered, "please." He didn't answer. They got in the car and drove away. The sound of the engine faded into the cold night. I was alone. The ground was hard. The air was freezing. I tried to call for help, but my voice was too weak. I shivered and prayed for the morning. When the sun rose, I heard footsteps. A man's voice said, "Ma'am, are you all right?" I opened my eyes slowly. A stranger bent down, gave me water, and said, "Don't worry, I'm calling the police." Soon, officers arrived and carried me to the hospital. I stayed there for many days until I recovered. They asked about my family, and I told them everything. But I didn't want Michael punished. I still loved him. A mother's heart never stops loving, no matter what. When I was well again, they sent me to an old-age home. At first, I was scared. I thought I'd be lonely again. But I wasn't. There I met others like me, people who had lost everything but still smiled. Some were laughing, some knitting, some playing cards. I slowly joined them. I met Grace, who loved to sing old songs, and Arthur, who always told funny stories. We became friends. One afternoon, Grace said, "Come, Eleanor, let's sing." I laughed. I haven't sung in years. "Then today's the day," she smiled. And I sang. My heart felt warm again. I walked in the garden, felt the sun on my face, and smiled at strangers who now felt like family. Sometimes, I still think of Michael. I pray for him every night. But I've stopped waiting for him to return. Because here in this new home, I've found something I thought I'd lost forever. Love, peace, and belonging. My life didn't end the night I was left alone. It began again. Even at 79, I can finally say, I'm not alone anymore.